we are here to discuss a beautiful poem, Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Now, we will discuss critical analysis, the summary of the poem and the special features. Now, this is a poem by Robert Frost. Robert Frost is known for his poems. In his poems, his peculiarity is he describes some non-living things in such a beautiful manner, in such a practical way that as we read each and every word, line by line of his poems, it seems as if some picture is running in our mind, some video is running in our mind. Now, as for example, Mending Wall. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swill under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun, and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. The work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair where they have left not one stone on a stone. But they would have the rabbit out of hiding to please the yelping dogs. The gaps I mean, no one has seen them made or heard them made, but at springtime we find them there. This is the first paragraph, first stanza of the poem Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Now, a little bit about the poem. In this poem, there are two contradicting remarks. The first is, nature does not love any sort of walls, any sort of boundaries. No matter those walls are within our hearts or on the land, on the non-living land. Now, in this poem, in the beginning, the poet says, now here the speaker is the poet and he speaks with his neighbor. Both these two persons meet every year in spring season. Now, why they meet? They meet only to repair the walls that exist between their respective boundaries. One has apple orchards and the another person has pine trees growing in his field. Now, here it is said in the beginning lines that something there is that doesn't love wall. Something means the poet says maybe the elves, the fairies. No, there is some supernatural force acting behind as in hidden form and which doesn't love walls. When these two, the speaker and the neighbor, they meet, they repair the wall, but in another season, they see the wall is again, it is the stones are unturned and again the wall needs repairing. So every year they come and mend the wall and the nature, it does its task. The nature again and again destroys that wall. Now, what are the ways in which the wall is destroyed? The ground, due to heavy snowfall, it gets swelled up. And when the ground extends, the stones are again unturned. They fall on the ground. In the hot sun, in the summer season, in the hot sun, again, the stones turn red due to extreme heat of the sun, and again the stones get uneven and they break or they fall on the ground, and again the wall is destroyed. Now, even the hunters do the same task which the nature does, but the hunters, when they take their dogs on a walk, the dogs are happy following the rabbits. Now, the rabbits, they make their passage within these walls and thus leaving the stones unturned. So, the dogs, seeing this, they become happy, and in order to make their dogs happy, the hunters, they do this task and they also destroy the walls in the same way as the nature destroys. But minded readers, there is an important difference between these two tasks of hunters and of nature. Nature does it due to unselfish motive, but the hunters, they have selfish motive. Only to please their dogs and themselves, they destroy the walls. But the nature do not favor anyone. Nature is not selfish. It's the nature of that supernatural force that is acting behind that do not love faults. Now, in another paragraph, I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line. Now here the speaker says that the neighbor informs him that at this point of time on this day we're going to meet and repair our broken wall and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go to each the boulders that have fallen to each, and some are lows and some so nearly balls. We have to use a spill to make them balance. Now here the shapes of the stones, the small stones is described. Some stones are round, some are flat and some are rough. So when both the neighbors, they try to repair the wall, in this task they just ruin their fingers. Their fingers are injured and become rough, and they had to try hard in order to set or fix that uneven stones in the form of a smooth wall. Again they fix the wall, again those uneven stones, obviously they fall back, but some or the following some or the other way, they somehow manage to again rebuild the wall. Now stay where you are until our backs are turned. Here, as I have discussed earlier, it is the speciality of Robert Frost that he assumes non-living things as living ones and he talks with them. So he addresses to stones as if they are living beings and asks them, hold, be still and fix to your places, at least for the time we turn our backs, because as the stones are uneven, with hard labor they fix them, and the stones again and again keep on falling. We wear our fingers rough with handling them on just another kind of outer game once on a slide. It seems as a game of small kids who again and again built their blocks, and again the blocks fall down. Now, in the fourth stanza, spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I would put a notion in his head. Now, the season is of spring, and spring denotes mischievousness. So here the speaker, our poet, he becomes a little mischievous, and he just tries to put his idea in the head of his neighbor and ask him, why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. Before I built a wall, I would ask to know what I was wailing in or wailing out. Here the speaker asks his neighbor that why are we are here repairing this wall? Why we build fences or walls between us? Because we do not have cows, neither you nor I. Here he means that if any one of us has cows, then the cows would have spoiled the fields of one another, and that would be a reason of quarrel between us. But we have no reason of quarrel between us. Then why we are building this wall? Something there is that doesn't love a wall. Yes, it's nature that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down. I could say Alps to him, but it's not Alps exactly, and I would rather he said it for himself. Yes, even the speaker don't want a wall between their respective properties, because according to him there is no such reason of quarrel between them, and there is no such logic of building a wall between their properties. I see him there, bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like an old stone savage armed. He moves in darkness as it seems to me. Here darkness means ignorance. Not of words only and the shade of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well. He says again, good fences make good neighbors. Now here the speaker is trying hard to convince his neighbor that there is no logic in building a wall every year because there is no such reason of quarrel between them. But he sees that when he turns back, he sees that his neighbor is standing with a large stone in his hand in order to fix it in the wall where there is a big gap. And with a stone in hand, he is looking like a savage and ignorant person who is lost in his in the darkness of ignorance. He is he is looking like a person of stone age who is rigid in following his beliefs, in his traditions, and the person don't want to get changed, don't want to get improved, or don't want to accept the ideas of the person standing in front of him. So again he just fixes that stone in his hand, and the neighbor says, again repeats his word firmly, that good fences make good neighbors. As he is, his father told him this line, these few words, and he just sticks to them and follows these words strictly, and he has firm belief that without fences we can't have good neighbors, we can't maintain good relationship. Now this is the last stanza. In this last stanza, Robert Frost doesn't gives any conclusion to the readers. He just leaves to the readers to reach on conclusion. Now there are two things. We cannot expect from each and every person to be broad-minded. We cannot expect such broad-mindedness with the entire humanity. And for peaceful living, even the borders and fences are necessary to some extent. But what to do with nature? Nature welcomes all, good or bad, living things or non-living things. In front of the eyes of nature, everybody is equal, and he doesn't love all. But mankind, this is we can say a hard reality that human beings cannot live peacefully without limitations, without discipline, without strictness, or without any fences. So this is the summary and critical analysis of this poem. I hope my students will definitely get benefited from this lecture. We'll meet soon with new lectures on English literature. Stay fit, stay healthy, keep on watching us and subscribe us.